everyone, and welcome to the second weekly update. Today is Friday, 29th of September, and soon it will be the end of the month. So, this is my second weekly analysis. In this video, I will try to be shorter and more concise because the first two videos are long. The first one is the FOMC trading. It's 1 hour and 20 minutes. The second video is made of two different videos and it lasts for 1 hour. So this is the second weekly update. Some things played out on the chart already, so I will be short this time. So first, let's do a little bit of a review to see what happened before. So in my last analysis, I've talked about two main scenarios. Lower targets, which I've got partially. I've got the first lower target. And the second scenario is going above these descending 4-hour and daily trend lines. Now, first, what is interesting about these trend lines? I talked about it in my first video and I said, when you chart, do your best to chart everything you have. So when you work with something, work with everything you have. If you have 2-3 exchanges, work on each one of them. Why is that? Well, the simplest way to explain it is to give you an example. When we draw these trend lines using the candle bodies on the daily and on the 4-hour chart, we see that they don't look exactly the same on Coinbase and Bybit. One of them is a futures contract, the other one is spot pair Bitcoin. Okay, so what do we see? We see a little bit of a difference where these candles have closed, which makes me suspect. So, what did I talk about in my previous video? Let's do a quick review. So in this video I've mentioned a scenario where we consolidate below the trend lines and shoot higher. It seems like the scenario played out, so I was a little bit mistaken here. It didn't play out yet. Okay, we need more confirmation, but we can see that we're currently sitting above these trend lines. Alrighty, so let's go back here, let's open the picture. I found some confluence for a long that I will take. It is around 26.4. Of course, this is not the exact target. My targets can vary. This is just a visual presentation of a trade that I might take. So, we are above the trend line. One would expect a retrace back to confirm the trend line as support to shoot higher. But as you all know, Bitcoin is very complicated, crypto can be highly manipulated, and that's okay. You don't have to blame the market, just go with the flow, make profits and stay safe. So, what else did I say? I'll be observing this daily close very carefully, keeping it simple as I have stated in my weekly analysis. Daily close above these trend lines could mean, so it doesn't mean for sure, but it could mean 28k or possibly higher. If Bitcoin closes below the trend lines, things can get messy. So did it close below the trend lines? No, it closed on the trend lines on both exchanges. So things are not messy just yet. Let's go down. What else do we have? Troubles in paradise? Yeah, this is what I was talking about. On Bybit, the candle struggled to close above the trend lines, while on Coinbase it closed above the trend lines. Now, this is very important for this analysis. I will read my post. I posted it 1 hour ago. I have other things to do, so I cannot make videos all the time, but as you can see, I'm doing my best to post as many videos as I can. So this is the second weekly analysis. Let's see what do we have here. So I will show you this on the chart too, but let's see here. What do we have? We have the 4-hour chart, Bybit perpetual contract, so it's futures. What do we have in the price action on the 4-hour? We have a higher high, and in the RSI we have a lower high. That's a regular bearish divergence. Now, $1 million question. Will it play out? Well, my dear listeners and followers and my dear fans, no one knows. That's why it's $1 million question. If everyone knew, everyone would be millionaires by now, right? So what do we have again? And once again, we have the 4-hour and the 1-hour regular bearish divergence inside of this resistance. Now, I can tell you two things. The first thing is, if it plays out, the drop will be harder than the previous drop when we had this divergence here, for sure. If it doesn't play out, of course, the price will go up, an asset will go up, it will invalidate this divergence here, and we will easily move towards the 28K. So I honestly hope that you are fully hedged. I honestly hope that you managed to be in a short position. I hope that you are in a long position. If not, feel free to find a hedge, to find the area that's tradable for you and for your trading style, so you can be prepared for both scenarios. Now, someone will laugh and say, well, you always have two targets, up and down. Of course price will go up and down. Well, what's the problem? If the price will go up and down, then why aren't you ready for both scenarios, right? So let's go back to the charts. I showed you what did I post last night and 1 hour ago, so I always do my best to update my followers, to be here for you, and to be present in the market. And when I say present, I mean psychologically present and physically present. So what do we have here? This is the daily chart. Let's do another quick recap. Let's take the bouncing spots, right? And let's turn off these fibs. Why? Well, if you want to know how did I get these fibs and what did I measure, you can easily watch my second or my first video, and you will realize how did I get these two rectangles. So what is interesting about it? I've posted on my Twitter. I don't want to lose too much time. You can check my page, Pragmatic Trading, and you will see that I said I will take profits from my short partially. I did that. I closed 30% of my position here at 26K. Of course, that cannot be seen here because for some reason TradingView does not let you visually present when you close the trade partially, of course, and I'm not using the spot pair for trading. I'm using this only to show you where am I entering my trades. So taking profits here partially was a very wise move. Why? Because it was the first higher place of support. I identified it and I executed my take profit partially. Now, what did I do like an hour ago? I doubled down on my position. So my initial entry was here. I added more at the top of this wick here. So my entry got lower and now it's here. So in case we keep dropping, my position stays open. I took profits, 30% of the profits here, and now I added to my position. So if the price keeps going down, great. I'm prepared for that scenario. So you can see how one zone can produce a nice move. I mean, this is not a significant move, but it's tradable, it's big enough. And I remind you, if you watch my last video, you will see that I have entered a long right here. I still have it here, I think. Yes. If I turn it on, let's go back to the 1 hour chart, for example. Let me remove this one. Alrighty. So let's talk about this long. It was 1-to-5 risk to reward ratio. It was a good entry. I was patient enough not to close my position here. I was confident and I've got my full take profit zone. Could I have done better? Yes. If I have waited more, I could have had 1-to-9 risk to reward ratio, or if I waited more, I could have had around 1-to-14 risk to reward ratio. But my dear people, my dear traders and analysts and whatever, the thing about trading is that you shouldn't be greedy. You should control your greed, you should control your fear, and you should stick to your plan. So my plan was to exit here, and I exited here. Should I feel a regret because Bitcoin went higher, much higher, in the next 2 days? No. What should I do? Well, I should reassess my decisions, and maybe next time, just maybe, my plan will be different and I will be more patient so I can have more profit, right? But that doesn't matter. I took profits here. It was a pragmatic trade. It played out pretty quickly. I exited my trade, and that's it. Of course, ideally, I should stay in my long. I should have stayed in my long and take profits here, or keep it open because I have shorts from this week now, right? And I would be fully hedged. But I am not worried. Why is that? Well, I've talked about it at the beginning of the video. There is a very clear, not so big, but still very clear, regular bearish divergence. Lower high in the RSI, higher high in price action, right? It's here. Will it play out? I don't know, but I'm betting on it, okay? I added to my short, and you can see what can happen next. So let's take a look in the future. What day is today? Today is Friday, okay? Now let's think about weekends. Weekends are usually very low volume environment. So what does it mean? If you backtest every weekend, you will realize that weekends are usually consisted of sideways action and false breakouts and false breakdowns, like basically bull traps and bear traps. So what do I expect from this weekend? Nothing. If I get something, great. If I get nothing, great. If you are a full-time trader and analyst, you know pretty well how important it is to spend a lot of time looking at the charts and to spend a lot of time outside doing what you like. Take your dog for a walk, go play some sports, spend some nice time with your family. Enjoy your day, right? But get some off-screen time because it will help you to clear your mind and to be a better analyst and a trader. So we've got this initial reaction. Now we are above the trend line. From here, for the weekend and for the start of the next week, I see two things happening. I see this trend line being confirmed as support, maybe a wick below, and us moving higher towards the 28k and towards these highs to the left, right? We have this candle close here and we have this one here. Let me just turn off these so you don't get confused. So this is the first scenario. It's pretty clear. You don't have to be a professional or anything to say, okay, this could happen. So this is the first scenario that I see. The second scenario, which is equally important, is that we have a retrace back to the trend line, which I am almost certain will happen in the next 5 or 6 hours. It doesn't matter, or maybe tomorrow. It will happen. When that happens, the second scenario would be another bounce for a lower high, then a very violent breakdown and acceptance back into the range and moving towards the second target. So those are my two scenarios. I'm prepared for both. I have a long entry right here. I'll show you the confluence, and I am in a short, so whatever happens, I am more than okay with it. Anything can happen, and my job is to be prepared. Now, let's take a good look at something else that I showed you. So let's turn on the local pitchforks. Why is this interesting? Well, I showed you this pitchfork in my previous video. So whenever I see a significant low, significant high, and a significant low formed within a range, especially if that range has been formed for a month, a little bit less, then I know this pitchfork is as significant as the lows and highs are significant, right? So beside all the things here, what did we have? Well, guys, this is the golden pocket, the yellow and orange line, and look where did we reject from. Exactly from the 0.65 level. You can see it here. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So in my last video, I've talked about a guy who said divergences don't work, you're nothing, you're no one, you will never make it, blah 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 blah. I wouldn't be here right now talking to you if I didn't make it. So people are very, I wouldn't say close-minded, but they can be sometimes narrow-minded. So I told you before and I'm telling you now, every single tool works as long as you know how to use it, right? So make sure to learn how to use the tool, use it properly, and you will end up seeing that everything works as long as you know how to use it, right? So I've showed you my two scenarios for this weekend and for the beginning of next week. What else can I show you? Well, if we go higher, if this scenario plays out, I would expect us reaching the top of the pitchfork here. I will short it for sure because top of the pitchfork is a good place to try and short, as well as the bottom of the pitchfork. It's a good place to try and long, right? So right now we are in no man's land. Okay, Bitcoin will slow down, the weekend is coming, it might go sideways and it might make some fake up and down moves. I showed you my two scenarios. Now I want to talk about the third scenario, the scenario that I didn't get this week. To be honest, after this rejection here, I expected us to see this lower price around 25.5, 6 and 7, but I did not get it. It's the same in life, right? Sometimes you get what you want, sometimes you don't, and that's fine. Your job and your responsibility is to be hedged and to be fully prepared for each scenario as much as you can. So the third scenario is connected to the second one, right? The second scenario would be retrace back to the trend line, another bounce, but that bounce will create a lower high. Now, if that happens, I would expect us to chase the liquidity of these lows, of all the people who longed this green candle here, yellow candle, I'm sorry, it's usually green, and the liquidity of all the people who longed this one. That can be very violent, and if that happens, we could easily revisit my area here, which is equally, if not more important than this one, right? Now, I'll try and measure the potential of this wave to see if there's something cool here. Yeah, just like I thought. So we have a fib here. We have the good old confluence here. Let me turn it on. Bouncing spots. So, oh, nice. Nice. So we can see some cool things in this level here. So now my confluence is even stronger, and besides all of these things, we also have the anchored volume profile, whose value area low is in the same area. So we have four different fib pools meeting each other in this zone here. So if we get there, I would expect a really strong bounce, and assuming anything else besides that is overreaching in my opinion. Why is that? Well, when we get there, and if we get there, I would expect a strong bounce, but what will happen after that bounce? Will we reach the trend line, consolidate, and shoot higher towards 28, 29, 30k or more? No one knows, but our job as traders and analysts is to identify the zone, make a clear setup, find confluence, trade the zone, secure the profits, and enjoy the show, because the show must go on, right? So I will be carefully observing the market this weekend. Of course, I will spend a lot of time being outside, but as the things that I like to do are very close to my home, so if anything big happens, I will make sure to get home and react. I would close this analysis now. I really have nothing to say. I showed you what did I trade last week. I showed you what my expectations were. I showed you which one of my expectations played out, which one didn't. That's completely fine. And I showed you what I see now. So I almost forgot one thing. So let me open my channel. Let me open my video. And here one guy posted a really nice comment. It's a question for me, so for the end of this video I want to answer this question and wrap up. So, hello Phil, nice analysis. It really sparks interest in learning more about technical analysis and trading. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it. However, I have an inquiry which I hope you can answer. Do you suggest day trading or long-term trades? Many people today are marketing day trading and making a lot of money in a short amount of time. Well, that's relevant and that's risky. So I want to know what is your take on that and what can I expect when beginning to trade. Thanks in advance. Well, this is a very good question. This guy wants to know what is better, day trading or long-term trades. Now, this question is pretty similar to the questions that I get every single day. Like, Phil, what is better, RSI or MACD? Do you use fib retracement or fib extension or both? So, guys, I want to be pretty clear with this. Market is like a free world. You have some tools to use, and no one is telling you you should do this and you shouldn't do this. Of course, there are some useful advice out there that you should listen, but on the other hand, there are many people who tell you some things that are plainly stupid. Okay, so what should we trade? Should we be day traders, scalpers, swing traders, etc.? The answer is within you, my friend. Okay. So if you are a beginner, focus on learning, educating yourself, practicing what you learn, implementing what you learn, executing your trades. So at the beginning, forget about money, forget about profit, forget about anything that's related to making money. Okay? Why? Well, if you are a beginner, it doesn't matter what will you be in the future. As a beginner, you should build yourself. You should explore different trading styles, and you should find what suits you the best. Trading is very diverse. You have many different tools. You have many different traders, successful traders who are swing traders, scalpers, day traders, etc. So it doesn't matter how you conceptualize, how you give a name to your trading style. What is important to you, Vanya? Yeah, your name is Vanya, yeah? What is important to you and everyone else who's a beginner is to forget about what's the best or what's the worst. Just focus on learning, educating yourself, being the best version of yourself, and your trading style will form itself. Okay, so if you ask me, it's very nice to be a swing trader, but it's also very nice to be a scalper. Okay, so you have your mentality, you have your set of rules in your life, so find what suits you best and upgrade it. Upgrade yourself, improve yourself, and your trading style will form itself after some time. I can guarantee you that. So guys, it's been 20 minutes or 20 something minutes. It's time to wrap up this one. What do I expect for this weekend? I expect this bearish divergence on 4 hour and 1 hour to be validated or invalidated. That will tell us a lot. If it gets invalidated, we will easily retake all of these 27.4k highs. If it gets validated, if it keeps playing out right like now, we could get much lower prices, and eventually next week I would expect us to reach this bouncing area here. So guys, enjoy your weekend. Thank you for listening to me. Once again, if you find any value in my videos, please feel free to subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment like this guy here. I will always take my time to answer your questions. And if you want me to analyze some other asset, something from the Forex, right? Some currency pairs or some other asset, I don't know, some stock, please let me know down below in the comments, and I will make sure to reply and do what you want me to do. So I wish you a beautiful weekend. Okay, enjoy your weekend. Life is short. It's not all about money and giving your best. Sometimes you just need to sit back, relax, and enjoy and appreciate life. So just like always, my dear traders, my dear beginners, intermediate, and advanced students, I wish you a really nice day. I wish you a happy Friday, and I wish you a happy weekend. Pragmatic Trading loves you. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.